AITA for bringing my fiancé to my daughter's wedding? I, 52 meters, have a daughter B, 23F, who got married last week to her wife E, 24F. They had been dating just under a year and decided to have an intimate wedding with me and about 20 other guests. B does not get along with my fiancé M, 29F. B has no contact at all with M, refuses to come to our house, and has been quite low contact with me for the last year or so because of an argument she had with M. As expected, B did not invite M to the wedding, but invited me as a guest. M said she did not mind if I went without her, which I thought was very gracious in the face of rudeness. However, we recently found out that M is a few weeks pregnant with our first child, and she has been anxious and having panic attacks all the way through her pregnancy. The morning of the wedding, I found M crying on the sofa and literally shaking. I asked what was wrong and she said she felt very panicky and unsafe alone. I offered to stay home since she was so ill and I was worried about her, but she insisted I go to the wedding. I was too concerned to go without her, so I messaged E, informed her of the situation and that M would be coming with me in case she had a medical emergency. While I was away, E did not respond until we were already dressed up and halfway to the venue. E told us that M was not to set foot at the wedding, but at that point I had no other option and I wanted to be there for B. It did not go well. B did not speak to me the whole way through the wedding and kept giving ugly looks to M. At the reception, there obviously wasn't a place set for M and an extra chair had to be squeezed in. But I cut some food and fed her off my own plate, so I did not think it was a big deal. E came to me after dinner, said that B was not doing a father-daughter dance with me and gave me a list of complaints. She said she was disgusted by M's dress because it was red, and that M was wrong to introduce herself as stepmother to B and that M should not have mentioned her pregnancy at all. M only mentioned her pregnancy because she was offered a little cake and cake makes her sick because of the pregnancy hormones. E told us to leave after dinner and I agreed, so I did not upset B. However, when M stood up, her stomach cramped and she fell over. It only made a tiny scene, but I rushed her out and we sat in another room for 20 minutes until she felt better. E's mother came in at that point while I was just calming M down and made us get out. Since then, E and M's maternal family have been sending me angry messages about how rude we were, and E has told me they want no contact for the foreseeable future. I really meant well and I just wanted to make everyone happy. But AITA? Edit. Since I have been asked a lot in the comments. M and B originally fell out because A. M took over B's old hobby room in my house. B. My daughter feels that M is too affectionate towards me when she is around, and C. B disapproves of me meeting M online. Hope that helps. Info. In what world is a wedding where a bride hates you and made sure you knew you weren't invited? A good place for someone who is having a panic attack? YTA. You not only brought a guest that was purposely not invited, you expected your daughter to be good with it. And you think your fiancé's panic attack was a coincidence? She was making you choose. I also find the timing of the panic to be a lil sus. The day of the wedding you know you're not invited to thinking face kinda feels like she wants to force in. Invite, make him choose. YTA and your fiancé played you like a violin. She starts off fine, but then suddenly develops a massive panic attack and inability to be alone even though only a few weeks pregnant, and then manages to introduce her pregnancy into this small intimate wedding to which she was not invited. Not to mention your fiancé is only 6 years older than your daughter. I hope you enjoy your new kid. Because at this rate you're not going to have a relationship with your grandkids. YTA and your soon-to-be wife sounds like a drama queen. YTA. Your fiancé is only a few weeks pregnant and cake makes her sick because of hormones? Her stomach cramped and she fell over? Only made a tiny scene? Your much younger fiancé sounds like a terrible attention-seeking witch, and you chose your new family over the very clear requests of your daughter. Enjoy being cut out of her life. YTA. You brought someone who was not invited to a very small wedding. Not only that, but that person was ill and probably should have been home in bed. Not going to a wedding. Sure enough, her ill health caused her to make a scene at the wedding. Your fiancée should not identify herself as your daughter's stepmother. While in theory, she might claim that title if you and she were married. You aren't married, and your daughter will never see a woman only 6 years older than she is as a mother figure. YTA. And it is comical you don't see that your fiancé is purposely trying to piss off your daughter while looking innocent to you. She is either fantastic at this, or you are nor very good at reading situations. Could be both. YTA. Okay, let's pretend for the sake of argument that M was genuinely feeling lousy and not just conveniently nursing a case of dramatitis. Why on earth was your reaction not to leave her home like she told you to do, but take her to a big formal event she had no intention of attending in the first place, even if she had been invited? Does she not have any friends who can look after her? Or was her argument with B about the fact they used to be friends and/or date before you entered the picture? So your fiancé announced a pregnancy that's only a few weeks old at someone else's wedding that she wasn't invited to. How sick was she if she could get appropriately dolled up for a wedding and go? If she was so sick with anxiety that she couldn't be left alone, I highly doubt a small, significant social event that she was specifically not invited to is the best place to help her anxiety. It's not even like it was a huge wedding and you could both hang out in the background. It was a small, intimate wedding. Now your daughter has memories of some woman she doesn't like making a scene and trying to tell people she's her stepmother, for goodness sake. Also, I liked the little jab you made at how long your daughter had been with her partner before getting married, but you don't see a problem with banging and knocking up someone your daughter's age. You fed your fiancé from your plate? Like a toddler? Man, she really has this helpless thing down. Your poor daughter and daughter-in-law. You made their wedding day a farce, and not an enjoyable, witty one. YTA. YTA in oh so many ways. Let's start with a wife who is basically your daughter's contemporary. Then you choose to support your daughter by bringing the one person she does not want to her wedding. Doesn't your child fiancé have a mother or sister or friend to stay with her? Or maybe you could have hired a babysitter? You made your point. You paraded your trophy at your daughter's wedding and now everyone knows what a stud you are. Getting the youngster knocked up. The cost was your daughter. But what do you care? YTA. You were told not to come. You could have turned around. How sick is she today? YTA. You did not in any way try to make everyone happy. You tried to make your fiancé and only your fiancé happy at the expense of your daughter. YTA. Something is not matching. She was sick enough to be shaking but not sick enough to go to a wedding? Nah, I'm sorry, but from all excuses she could have given to reject eating a cake, she couldn't say she was on a diet? IDK if everything was planned out, but I feel like M played her role in going to that wedding. If you're sick for everything. Which means rest at your home. Not dress up for a wedding. The red dress depends though. If it's blood red of a dress, it's too much for a wedding. You could have called someone to take care of Em as well. Does she have family? Yup. You had so many options and you decided to pick what was best for you, not what was best for your daughter. YTA, and I'd put money on your daughter going completely NC. YTA, come on. You know you are. YTA. Your soon-to-be wife played you like a fiddle. She did everything on purpose. You don't announce a pregnancy at someone's wedding. Everything was a calculated plan against your daughter. And you totally chose your new family over her. Info, you're trying to tell me that a woman having a panic attack then decided the best thing to do was get dressed up and go to an intimate wedding she was deliberately not invited to? And you thought that was a good idea? Are you that dense? Do you have psychological issues? A brain tumor maybe? You really couldn't turn your car around and go home when your daughter told you you were no longer welcome? Do you hate your daughter? Do you enjoy the thought that you ruined her wedding? And you're sitting here still confused as to how you're in the wrong. Either you are incredibly stupid or you're trying your best to make your daughter hate you. Or this is fake. You brought somebody specifically banned to your daughter's wedding where she proceeded to basically announce her pregnancy and created a scene and introducing herself as the stepmother to someone only 5 years younger. There's far more than you're letting on here aside from the age and are either intentionally misleading or phenomenally clueless. YTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.